Have you ever noticed how in a world where everyone is fighting to be seen, a few men choose to stay invisible? No photos. No updates. No birthday posts. No gym selfies. Nothing. It's almost like they vanished from the digital world on purpose. But here's the real question, why? Why would a man choose silence when the whole world is shouting? Why would he hide in a time when visibility is a form of currency? Is it insecurity? Fear? Pride? Or could it actually be a deeper form of strength? Stick with me, because the real psychology behind men who don't post on social media might surprise you. And what you discover today might even reveal something about you, or the men you think you understand. Let's break it down. Number 1, the men who protect their privacy like gold. Imagine this for a second. You walk into a room, and everyone is talking, loudly. Everyone wants attention. Everyone wants validation. But somewhere in a quiet corner, there's a man sitting comfortably in silence, completely unbothered. That's what privacy means to these men. For them, life feels more peaceful when fewer people know their business. They don't need applause for buying a car, posting a new haircut, or showing where they traveled. They don't need congratulations in the comments to feel successful. Their victories? Private. Their struggles? Also private. Their happiness? Not for the algorithm, only for their soul. And the psychology behind this mindset is simple: boundary control. It's the idea that the less information people have about you, the less power they have over you. These men understand one thing deeply. When your life becomes content, it stops being yours. So they choose ownership over attention. They choose peace over performance. They choose privacy over popularity. Number 2, the men who have mastered the discipline of disappearing. This one is powerful. A man who doesn't post isn't just quiet, he's disciplined. Think of how tempting social media is. Everywhere you turn, someone is posting something. Their lunch. Their shoes. Their face. Their night out. Their smallest achievement. Society has become addicted to showing everything. So when you meet a man who doesn't post, guess what he's mastered? Impulse control. And psychologists call this delayed gratification, the ability to resist short-term pleasure for long-term peace. While others post for quick likes, quick approval, quick attention, he's building something deeper. It takes strength to stay off stage in a world where everyone wants a spotlight. It takes maturity to say, I don't need to show you to prove anything. Most people show off because they want people to believe something about them. But this man, he doesn't want to prove. He doesn't want to impress. He doesn't want to perform. He has mastered the discipline of disappearing, staying focused, staying grounded, staying in control. Number 3, the men who are surrounded by mystery. Now, this one is interesting because it affects relationships, attraction, and even friendships. People are naturally curious creatures. And what creates curiosity? Mystery. When a man doesn't post online, it creates a psychological effect called the information gap, a space between what people know and what they want to know. And guess what? The human brain hates gaps. So it tries to fill them. That's why mysterious men are often more attractive. Not because of anything physical, but because people cannot figure them out. They start wondering, what is he doing? Is he busy? Who is he talking to? What's his lifestyle? But he gives no clues. No crumbs. No hints. He controls the narrative simply by not telling a story. Psychology calls this the mystery effect. Whatever is unknown becomes interesting. And ironically, the men who talk the least often become the men people talk about the most. Number 4, the men who are focused, deeply, intensely focused. Let's be honest. Social media is a distraction factory. 1 minute you're checking a message, and suddenly you've scrolled for 2 hours watching memes, gossip, and people you don't even like. But men who barely post, they often live in a different mental world. They are focused on reality, not digital noise. They are building goals, skills, careers, businesses, mindsets. They spend less time watching other people's lives, and more time improving their own. Psychologists call this selective attention, the ability to focus on what truly matters while filtering out distractions. These men are not offline. They're just intentional with their time. They use the internet as a tool, not as an escape. They scroll to learn, not to compare. They don't check trends because they're busy creating their own path. And their silence online, it's not ignorance. It's investment. Number 5, the men who don't want to be trapped by social media identity. Here's something most people never think about. Once you post online, people start building a perception of you. An image. A personality. A box. And you know what happens? You get trapped inside it. Because people expect you to stay consistent with whatever you showed them. If you post luxury, you must stay luxurious. If you post jokes, you must stay funny. If you post fitness, you must stay ripped. If you post motivation, you must never have a bad day. This is called the self-presentation trap, when people feel stuck in the image they created for social media. Men who don't post, they avoid this trap completely. They keep their identity fluid, private, and undefined. No one can categorize them. No one can predict them. No one can label them. And that freedom is priceless. They don't want their real life to be shaped by digital expectations. They don't want to feel pressured to keep up with an image that isn't always real. Their rule is simple. If it's not happening in real life, it doesn't need to happen online. Number 6, the men protecting their emotional energy. This one is more common than people realize. Some men find social media emotionally draining. Not because they're weak, but because they're self-aware. They know that constant updates, opinions, arguments, comparisons, and criticism can harm their peace. So they protect their emotional space. They limit what they expose themselves to. They refuse to let strangers influence their mood or self-worth. And psychologists call this emotional regulation, the ability to protect your well-being by managing your environment. These men aren't hiding. They're simply choosing calmness over chaos. And guess what? That's a form of maturity. They've outgrown the need for approval. They've outgrown the performance of posting. They've outgrown the pressure to be seen. Because real confidence doesn't need an audience. But wait. The deeper insight, what their silence really means. The real truth behind all these men. It's not about being antisocial. It's not about having something to hide. And it's definitely not about being mysterious for attention. Their silence online reflects a deeper pattern in their life. They value control. They value intention. They value peace. They value authenticity. When you look closer, you realize, a man who doesn't post is a man who isn't begging for validation. He isn't measuring his worth by likes. He isn't chasing digital applause. He isn't competing in the highlight reel Olympics. Instead, he's focused on his real life, his real goals, his real mental health, his real relationships, and his real identity. And in a world where everyone shows everything, choosing to show nothing is a superpower. So now, when you meet a man who never posts, remember. Some do it for privacy. Some do it for discipline. Some do it for focus. Some do it for emotional protection. Some do it because they hate being boxed in. And some do it because peace is more important than attention. Each reason is valid. Each reason is intentional. Each reason reveals something deep about who they are. So the real question is, which one are you? Are you silent because you're hiding? Or silent because you're evolving? If this video opened your eyes just a little, make sure you hit subscribe. We talk about psychology, human behavior, and the hidden truths behind the things people do. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.